My name is John Welsh and I'm a Xylem Product Manager. This is the Model 3017M Chlorine Analyzer. In this video, I'm going to cover the installation of the reagents, sample, and reagent pump tubes. In previous videos, I've covered the overview of the instrument, startup, and necessary maintenance items. As part of both the startup and maintenance, it will be necessary to either install or replace reagents and the pump tubes. First, with the reagents. Sitting on the table here are the reagents, the reagent pump tubes, sample pump tubes, the pickup lines for the reagents, and a small packet of lubricant that we will use on the sample pump tube. All of these items can be found in the startup kit for the instrument. The reagents have already been mixed, so what I will do first is then take one of the pickup lines, put it in. This is the buffer reagent. It goes onto the right side of the chassis. I'll come back to that point in just a minute. The other one is the indicator. Again, it has a similar pickup line. This one will go next to it on this side of the reagent compartment. Next, we will do the sample pump tube. This is the sample pump. There are tabs on it. Pull the cover off. Take your sample pump tube and put a small amount, probably a diameter of about 1 to 3 millimeters of this, don't need very much, and then just lightly lubricate the top portion of the sample pump tube. Then I place up here and ever so slightly push into place, working it around. So now I have it in place on the rollers all the way in. Return the cover, snaps in, and then I can just gently adjust this so that the ends are approximately even. This pump will turn in a clockwise fashion. So when I make these connections, I have to ensure that I get the right one in the right position. This is the sample pickup line. Since this will be turning in this direction, I take this one and make the connection here. Hand tight. This is the one that's going to go to the flow cell. Goes on the other side of the pump. Just kind of pull those a little bit like that. That completes the installation of the sample pump tube. Next, we need to install the reagent pump tubes. The best way to do this is to first take one of the tubes, they're identical, and connect it to the flow cell on the farthest right-hand port. This will be the buffer connection. And then excuse me, I almost did that backwards. There's a locking tab on the pump tube, and using the side with the most length, I place that one there. Okay, just let that hang for a second. Now at the top of the reagent tubes, I lift back, pull the platens off, just set them to the side. Take the tube, place it inside the roller platen, and then catching the guide on the right hand side, snap it into place. I'll do the same thing with the other pump tube in exactly the same way. So take this, make my connection here. This will be the indicator. down slightly. Excuse me just a second. There it is. Okay, you heard them snap into place. Now the tube in the back is going to be the buffer. It doesn't really matter which one is which. The only thing that is important is that the buffer goes into the flow cell first before the indicator. Since I put that tube in the back, I'm going to move this over and make the connection to the buffer. Stick in there. The one in the front will be the indicator. I make the connection here. Okay, there are barb fittings on each one of these. They simply snap into place. The last thing I would need to do would then to tension the platens on the reagent pump tubes, and there'll be an audible click when I tighten these tensioners. 3 clicks. 1, 2, 3. Now this is tight, this is tight. The instrument is now ready for power, and I would simply push in my fusible link. The instrument powers up, the pumps will start to rotate for a self-test, and then after that we would prime these lines with sample and reagents, and once that's done, the instrument's ready for the analysis.